Hey guys, I am back again for another Leonard Toys Alien Collection reviews. As stated in my previous video that I did on my first channel, which is the birthday haul video, I am going to be taking a look at this huge $20 set. Well, it used to be $20. I had to find this off of eBay, of course, for a little bit double the price, but it's still kind of worth it finally getting it. And it's obviously the Alien Super Set from Leonard Toys Alien Collection. Now, this obviously came out after their first initial set of figures, and there's just essentially repacks and repaints of the same figures they released beforehand. It's just a mixed mash of whatever the heck they could gather up for this line. And of course, it's divided into only the first 3 films in the Alien franchise, being Alien, Aliens, which is also available on 4K right now, and Alien 3. Now, why just only the Alien trilogy? Well, because they probably knew Alien Resurrection was just a bit too much. Now, I've already showed off the little blue xenomorph that I already have, which came in a previous set containing a Sentry gun and a Space Marine character. We're going to be taking a look at this whole set. So, as you can see, you have the really wonderful aesthetic of the Alien Collection package from the Leonard Toys aesthetic. I mean, it's pretty cool package. We already went over the one with the vehicle that we reviewed a long while ago. Aesthetically pleasing and very comic book like, with the different colorations of the xenomorphs, and of course the Alien logo being there and all that stuff. Also, another thing I like about it is that these different sections of the movie collection that they're in, they got different colors. Like Alien is orange, Aliens is green, and Alien 3 is blue. Even though the color should have been shifted for these movies, like the yellow should be for Alien 3, the blue should be for Aliens, and then the green should be for the first Alien. That would have worked a lot better, because the Blu-ray anthology collection that I have basically kind of did just that. This is how the package looks from up here. From this side here, we're seeing more of the xenomorph artwork in this shot with the Wayland logo back then. He's standing on some type of platform, and also the particular figures right here. It's getting a little heavy to hold, but you can see it's right here, just like that. And the other side is the same sort of, more artwork being shown right here, along with the action feature like of the power loader that it comes with. And speaking of which, is also called the super power loader. And then of course we're going to flip it over to the back, to showing the entirety of what this set is. Of course, showing off the demonstrations of the super power loader, and of course the Sentry gun and the egg pod and face hugger right there, along with the much more enlarged pictures of basically every figure you get in the set, which looks pretty nice. And then, of course, that get to know your xenomorph chart right down there. And then it's basically it. So going over the package, let's go ahead and finally open up all of this, and we'll take a closer look. Okay, honestly, that took a lot longer than expected, because I was having a tough time trying to literally like open a few of these things like the accessories from the Alien collection. Also, I just noticed that the Alien logo on Alien Collection is basically Alien's logo without the S on it. So essentially, it used the second movie's logo and decided to just call it a day. Honestly, they could have made sense to just use the original logo, but I guess they already used it for their main package design. So they decided to say, let's just go with using the second movie logo and just taking out the S. It does look nice though. That's just a little thing I wanted to point out. But anyways, I finally got all 3 of these entirely out of the package. And yeah, definitely some nice stuff I'm seeing right here. And it's also very cool to finally own more of the Leonard Alien toys after reviewing that first one, which is basically the vehicle that I reviewed, which you can see peeking on the right there behind the runner Alien. Well, we're just going ahead and take a look at this in the right order. We're going to be looking at the first movie set, which is basically a re-release of their previous set from, like, I think 2020, 2019, whatever, when the Alien franchise turned 40. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at the xenomorph here. Now, there are some differences in terms of some subtle parts of the sculpting. Obviously, just the head being more like the first movie's xenomorph, the big chap, and a few bits and pieces of like the overall look of the xenomorph in terms of its arms or whatever. But overall, it's almost the same sculpt, because we took a look at this in my birthday haul, which is the Xenomorph Warrior. This is the drone. And overall, the paint job is pretty nice. It was previously in gold, whatever color it is. Seriously, it's just an overall very nice xenomorph figure, and this is just really cool in this color. As far as I'm concerned, it's very nice. And you also see the little xenomorph jaw inside right there. It's just, there's no action feature present on there to release it, so it's basically stuck in that very stationary position. But yeah, aside from that little gripe that I had that I've already addressed beforehand in my birthday haul video, this is a very cool looking Xenomorph, and the detailing of it is pretty nice for something in a $20 figure set. But I think the solo figure set, I think it was probably $10. I forgot what pricing they were when it came in the single packs. Bet you they were probably very affordable at the time, and nowadays are being scalped like crazy on the internet, on eBay particularly. But overall, this is a very cool looking Xenomorph, and I really, really love the way this looks. It's just an overall very good looking Xenomorph. And there's also painted teeth right there. It's in a chrome, silvery looking color. You might not be able to see it because the whole entire Xenomorph is in its same color. But overall, just a very nice looking Xenomorph that matches how it looks in the franchise, particularly the first film or just the standard drone Xenomorph. So don't have to go too much into detailing on the sculpt other than the few differences. It's a pretty nice figure and I really love it. And also it got some really good articulation points as well. And next we're going to go over the little character right here, which is supposed to be a scientist character. And this is supposed to be a repack or repainting of one of Chap May or Lanard Toys' previous figures they have made, but I don't even want to go too much into that. It's an overall nice looking figure for what it is, and it does match the vibe of something that could belong in an Alien toy line, though it is a bit weird because it's essentially almost a little too futuristic for its own good, because it could have at least looked more 70s if they really wanted to. Going over this figure, it's a pretty nice figure for what it is. The paint job on it is pretty okay. Really like the way it looks. It's nothing too special. The weapon he comes with is pretty nice too. It almost looks like a pulse rifle a little bit, but it's like a flamethrower-ish looking weapon. I'm not sure what weapon this really is, but it's also painted in the exact same color as the previous soldier, the Space Marine that I had, which is in the background. I had a different type of weapon, but it's in the same type of color, because half the weapons that are painted in this toy line is essentially the same color, which is fine, or casted in that color. But the gun, again, it's a really cool looking gun. It almost looks like some type of flamethrower or pulse rifle. I don't know what to really call it, but it's just an overall really cool weapon. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a weapon that's supposed to be resembling to anything from the films, especially the first movie, because I'm only going by the first movie at this point, because I really can't really say anything about the second film yet. Also, another thing I noticed about this figure is that the helmet is removable, but it's going to have to take a little bit of force to do it. I don't want to pop it off too badly, but yeah. The helmet does come off, and you see the head sculpt of the character. It doesn't have any likeness that's supposed to be familiar to anybody. He's just a standard generic soldier type of character. His head does rotate, so that's pretty nice. It can go up and down, side to side. Pretty nice thing to do. And the helmet is nicely sculpted. It can also be put in there like that. It fits in there snugly, so it's a pretty nice figure. Again, this is really cool, but it's nothing too special. But it definitely does have the vibe of an alien-like figure from the action figure lineup. And go over the last thing, which is the... Oh yeah, wait, hold up. Before we do that, here's the additional weapons that this set comes with. It comes with this sci-fi looking pickaxe and an additional weapon that is basically a repack of the Space Marines weapon from the vehicle pack that I already reviewed. So that's it for that. Let's go over the egg pod and face hugger. So the face hugger is actually just a plastic piece looking like this, and it does have a bit of a rotating tail portion that looks like it's supposed to fit alongside a figure somewhere. And the way it looks is definitely sculpted pretty nicely, so looking exactly like the face hugger from the film, even getting that detail looking just as good as it should look like. I never thought they would get that in, but yeah, they definitely paid attention to the detailing of the face hugger's design. Just looking very good looking. It's very big though, and to see if it fits on, well, it almost fits entirely this man's face, and not sure how to actually get it to tangle up on this guy, but I'm not really entirely sure. Might as well just go like this, and well, might not fit entirely on it. It's the only way I can go. But yeah, this is how it's gonna look on it. Of course, some people might do it better than I did. I'll just try to get this out the way. I don't want to stay too long on it. It's gotta break that dang capsule over there so you can actually get into him, and then, you know, do the usual thing that a Xenomorph does, or facehugger does. And here's the egg pod, which looks nicely sculpted for what it is. It's obviously in some type of weird, strange color patterning, which is okay for the most part. I mean, I would have accepted if it was a lot more brownish. I don't know. But at the same time, the colors on this being green is much more nicer. and here's the inside. Basically very hollow, nothing really special, but the overall formation of this is basically very movie accurate as far as I'm concerned. That's it for the Alien collection. Let's go over Aliens next. Now, before we take a look at anything else in the set, we're going to take a look at the Xenomorph. So again, this is the same Xenomorph that I already went over in my birthday haul video, which I have posed right up here. Gonna go get them. It is right here. Same one right here, just basically in the purple paint scheme. Personally, I think I like this purple one more because it almost looks like if you were to color correct it better, it would almost look a little darker color. I mean, it's a little bit of a darkish color. They're both looking pretty nice. Blue looks really cool though, but this purple one, I'm really digging this purple one a lot more. If it was a little bit of darker shade, then maybe it will look more like an actual cool looking Xenomorph. But again, both of these are pretty nice. I already went over how good this one looks, and this one looks just as good too. That's all I can really say about the Xenomorph because I already went over it previously with this figure. Check out my birthday haul video where I talk about it a little bit more. And we'll take a look at the soldier. Now, I'm going to assume that this is... Wait, hold on. Like, let me get the other guy first and let me see. Okay, obviously different scope. That's what I wanted to talk about. This is obviously the character from the vehicle pack and looking pretty nice, obviously, right alongside with this guy who comes with the superpower loader. Nothing too special. He's definitely just this typical 5 points of articulation, like old style action figure being reused for the Alien storyline. He does come with a pretty nice weapon. Again, not sure whatever the heck it came from. Obviously did not come from any of the movies, but it's a cool looking science fiction weapon. And the overall gear and sculpting of this figure looks pretty nice as a typical like discount Space Marine for the Alien toy line in this figure line. So as far as I'm concerned, it's definitely a really good stand-in for a Space Marine figure, especially if it's really trying to capture a very retro looking style. I mean, this is obviously a very old figure being reused for a toy line release in the modern times. So honestly, this is just very, very cool, especially the coloring on this figure. I really like the vibrancy of the colors of the green. I mean, it's a pretty vibrant looking figure as far as I'm concerned. So I really do like the way this figure looks. And of course, we're done with that. I'm going to go over the super power loader, which obviously isn't an actual power loader based on anything from the films. It's obviously supposed to be a repack and repainting of one of Lanard's like previous figures that they made in the past. And I'm not sure that... Okay, the arms do move. I was just about to say. The arms do move. The minigun also moves upward. So yeah, this thing got some articulation. Even the legs do move a little bit. Well, essentially. Yeah, this is a really decked out looking super power loader, obviously. And it's a pretty nice design overall. The figure can go inside it, and I gotta remove the minigun first. I mean, let's just be real. This minigun kind of isn't really needed, but it is a superpower loader, so it has to be needed. Take out the weapon of this guy because it almost doesn't really fit on him. You can clamp the figure inside this vehicle, or vehicle. You can clamp him in. Let's see if I can try to get him in. Okay, this is my best guess. I'm not sure how to actually properly put him in. But it could have been cool if he had some levers somewhere so he can hold his hands out somewhere. Because right now he does look a little bit awkward. But he does fit inside the super power loader pretty nicely. His head sticks out and you can see him just fine. And of course, let's just look at some detailing on this. Got a chainsaw hand right here, along with, I'm assuming this is obviously a laser over here. Or no, like the little flare portion, like the flamethrower portion of the power loader, kind of like what happens when Ripley was fighting the Queen Alien. There's a little flame portion on there. You got this clamp right here, which also has an articulation point where you can open it wide or close. So at least they got a clamp portion that's basically like the power loader, because they do got clamps in their types of hands. And again, here's the minigun, which is supposed to be a portion that fits at the back with a peg hole right here. Well, speaking of, let's just go right to the back and see how it looks from the back. And this is how it looks. Again, it's actually pretty nice detailing entirely for how this is. And this just pop in right there. It's loose, but it's not that loose. It does still work in it just fine, but it does look a little over the top having a minigun on top of this power loader. Overall, it's a pretty nice little cheap accessory to put alongside. I mean, of course, it's a really nice looking made up power loader as far as I'm concerned, but it does have some rackety aspects of it. So I mean, nothing too bad. Definitely like this. So that's all for that. That's all for Aliens. And now we're going to go look at Alien 3, which obviously none of this except for the runner alien is accurate to Alien 3. Okay, a little bit. I will say that the character right here, let's go over the character first. He's almost like looking like a character from Alien 3 as far as like concerned, like the characters at the very end of the movie to where they, a human bishop and all that, find Ripley before she does the unthinkable. And by unthinkable, she does the right decision. If you get what I mean when you watch that film. But what I'm talking about is like the overall paint job of this character. He's obviously a re-release and or repaint of an older figure from before. Like nothing too special. And he kind of looks like a character from my old toy movie. If you saw the old Jurassic Park toy movie, you would see that this is basically that guy with that messed up paint job on his face, which happens to be Crayola, like his face is colored red, but he has a blue outfit. Yeah, it was definitely that guy.
Think I'm away from those dinosaurs.
What you're seeing is basically this dude in Alien 3 form. He looks pretty cool with the paint job and everything, but of course he's not really accurate to Alien 3. Heck, his weapon is not even accurate. I mean, it's a cool looking weapon, still cast in the exact same colors as the other weapons in this line, but overall he's a nice figure, despite the obvious made up aspect of it, because of course it's not technically an actual Alien 3 character. Okay, he comes with a sentry gun, which really is from Aliens, a really nice looking addition to this line. It should have just been included in the Aliens collection, because Alien 3 should have at least came with that little motorcycle, which is exactly what the original set came with, the original Runner Alien bundle from the time when it was released, and now it's going out of focus. Okay, there you go. And that probably contains the logo of the Space Marines. Yep, right there. There's the logo right there. It's just in that one stencil that goes on like that, and the overall detailing of the sentry gun looks really, really good for what it is. It's a very cheaply made sentry gun. Not too bad. Very nice addition. Just a really good accessory to add too. But again, for Alien 3, it really doesn't have a place in Alien 3 because that whole movie is like devoid of having any guns until the very end of the movie. And then last but not least, let's take a look at the Runner Alien. One of my absolute favorite designs and favorite xenomorphs ever. The most underrated in my opinion anyway. Again, this alien right here definitely is one of my favorites, and obviously this is much bigger than the Runner Alien that I got from the Super 7 toy line, which I reviewed. Okay, here it is right here, the more accurately sized Runner Dog Alien. I keep saying Runner Dog Alien, but it's just Runner Alien. But yeah, this is the one from the Super 7 toy line, and this is the one for Lanard Toys. Lanard Toys is a beast. It's pretty big. They're both equally as good with the detailing. The only difference is the price. You're paying more for this tiny little bugger, but you're paying less for this one. Well, at the time, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, this xenomorph is incredible. The head sculpt is pretty nice. The overall body structure is nice. The articulation is nice as well. This whole tail is on a ball joint, which is really, really good. The previous version was obviously colored red. Of course, this character also has some articulated legs, but the knees are not articulated, except for the elbows on this one are articulated. I mean, it's a Runner Alien. You're not gonna expect too much out of that in terms of articulation, but at the same time, pretty nice. And this sculpting is just as good as the other xenomorphs in the collection. Like I said, incredibly detailed for a very cheap figure. Also, the jaw of the xenomorph, the inner jaw right there, is also sculpted inside. And okay, the more I'm looking at it from the front, that is damn near movie accurate in terms of that look. Yeah, they definitely got this right. It's so cool. Overall, the paint job on the teeth is nice too. Like seriously, I really like this Runner Dog Alien. I'm just gonna keep saying Runner Dog Alien because that's what it really is. But at the same time, I can't help but just call it Runner Alien. But it's Runner Dog Alien. Apologies for mixing that name up with whatever. But that is it for that set too. So now we got them all reviewed and they are all nice. Also, if there's one more thing I want to go over, which is comparison again, and that is the previously reviewed Aliens Ripley versus Queen Alien pack from Funko Super 7, whatever the heck you want to call it, but it was at that time Funko and Super 7 collaborated with each other. And yeah, I still think this is a really fun set. And of course, there's Ellen Ripley right here, and inside the more movie accurate power loader, which does have its own set of issues, just like the super power loader does. But I feel like Ellen Ripley would have had a much better time with the super power loader than she did with the regular one if she was fighting more aliens off, of course. But yeah, as you can see, the size is obviously very clear that the 5-inch alien raid here is almost not really towered over. It's almost in the same length. The tail is trying to peek up at the same exact position, but of course they're both dwarfed by the superpower loader in the back. So of course, to complete this whole video off, showing off every xenomorph I own so far, most of them being from Aliens, and only 2 of them being from the first one, and 2 of them being from the third one. So yeah, I have more aliens, I have more warriors than I do drones and queens and runners. That's basically it for this video, and just want to get it out the way that I'm definitely having a lot of fun collecting these figures again. I mean, this whole entire alien super set is a really good set. That's basically it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will be seeing you guys later.